This meeting is being recorded.
Hey, folks, this is Doug Blake with Body Design University. Another exciting Saturday study for our NASM students. We are going to continue where we left off from last week, and that was coming to the end of chapter 1. Is everybody ready to get started? Yes?
Yes.
Look, we can only make this so exciting, right, guys? So, what we're going to do is finish up. I'm just going to run through. Remember, chapter 1 is what we call a low priority chapter, which means what? You're not going to get a lot of questions on the NASM exam from chapter 1. Okay, it's part of a group of chapters that we know they're just not going to ask a lot of questions from. So could be 2 questions, I don't know, 4 questions, something like that. Irrespective of the number of questions, chapter 1 is a fairly easy chapter to navigate through and understand the materials. As we get to the end of chapter 1, let me share my screen with y'all. Now, as you know, I'm using the online materials that NASM provides. So they put it in, they call them lessons. You don't have it like that in your textbook. It's not important. But when you get to the end of the end of chapter 1, you get to what's known as scope of practice and code of conduct. Got that? So up until this point, we've learned pretty much what they call the modern state of health and fitness. Scope of practice and code of conduct. If you're going to see questions from chapter 1, it's almost a guarantee you'll see a couple right from this area in the chapter. Does that make sense? So the scope of practice, and I'll just give you a real quick rundown, represents all the things that a given profession. Now remember, scope of practice, code of conduct is for a, quote, profession. And we accept the fact that we are an actual profession. We are. And so that's why we have to guide our behaviors and our actions according to an established scope of practice, code of conduct. Keep in mind, let me get off of here, every NCCA accredited organization, NASM, ACE, ACSM, whatever the case is, although they're very similar, they all have their own scope of practice and code of conducts. And so as a NASM certified personal trainer, right, if you're going to stay underneath that heading title, you need to follow the NASM scope of practice. Like I say, for the most part, they're all going to be pretty much the same. Again, this is the one area of chapter 1 that I do recommend you, if you're going to spend any time in here, it would be in here. There are legal boundaries and this is what they're saying, that the professional can do within the legal boundaries of their job title, right? Obviously, they're letting you know doctors, lawyers, engineers, you name it, they all have to abide by pretty strict regulations created by the law. So you can go through this, read through this. Sometimes, as they say here, professions such as the personal training industry, we don't have governmental guidelines. You all know that, right? You don't have to be certified to train people. It's not illegal. You get it? You cannot practice medicine without a medical license. That's illegal. Personal trainers, you can train people. Why don't we recommend that, though? We don't recommend that because then you're just a lone wolf doing whatever you want to do. And we still need to abide by some basic guidelines, not just about technique and reps and sets and all these other things, but also about behavior. Even, I would say, even the way you dress. Okay? When we do our live course, I'll go through a litany of examples of different professions. I'll give you an example. If you went to your doctor, when was the last time you all went to your doctor? Or a PA or whoever you saw, right? When was the last time you went? When you walked into the doctor's office, male, female, were they wearing shorts and a tank top when they came in to see you? No? Why not? They're a lot more comfortable than the stuff they wear. Why not? Come on, why not? It's not
Not professional.
professional.
Mhm.
Y'all with me? Is there some law on the book somewhere, federal, state, county? Is there some law that says they have to wear scrubs or that they have to wear professional da 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 da? Is there any law? No. Now, you work for a hospital or those organizations will tell you you must wear this, and in fact, they have you wear specific colors and everything else. You probably already know this. In the personal training industry, who tells you what you should and should not wear when you go to train people?
No one.
That's right. That's right, Mark. Nobody.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm going to tell you it's probably a good idea not to wear a tank top and not to wear shorts when you're training people. You probably want to wear clean sneakers. I would recommend shaving, putting on some cologne and underarm deodorant. I would highly recommend that. It's a good idea also to brush your teeth. Does that make sense? And we kind of laugh at that, but do you realize that right now in the industry, there are people that don't abide by those what we would consider basic professional guidelines or code of conduct. So we go through scope of practice, code of conduct, ethical behavior with the NCCA accredited organization. So everybody knows the basic standard. Who determined the standard? We all did, meaning every professional in the industry. We all decided. And then there's going to be greater or lesser levels of, sort of standards that we use. That makes sense to everybody? You guys are more, if you wear really tight sneakers with clean, warm up suit, keep your body covered, wear even a shirt like I'm wearing, and you train people like that, I'm good with that. Do you know how I used to train people? You're not going to believe this. And we're talking like the late 80s and early 90s. You know how I used to walk into the gym? No, Helen, the other way. I used to wear a shirt and a tie. Shirt and a tie, slacks, and just nice, not really cool dress shoes. But I walked in and it was like, who the hell is that guy? Why did I do that? Because I knew that people would look at me a certain way. I am not saying to dress like that. You don't have to. You're not a coach on an NFL team, okay? The point is that when you're going through these materials, you're not going to see lots of questions on an exam. However, in the real world, this is very, very valuable to you. Are you getting me? Yes?
Yes.
So you got to understand your own scope of practice, and here you can see what they put here. Fully understand the scopes of adjacent allied health professionals. Yes, of course, stay current on local laws, regulations. Okay, that's fine. Certified trainer's scope of practice. Now, I think NASM gives you an actual list. You don't have to memorize this, folks. You don't have to memorize this. However, there are a couple in here that it's a good idea to kind of remember. I think a lot of this makes sense intuitively. Okay, abide fully by the NASM Code of Professional Conduct. Conduct themselves in a manner that merits the respect of the public. Oh boy, other colleagues. And NASM. What are we saying? Please behave in a way that is going to be concurrent with the way I would do it and the way other professionals would do it. Y'all get this? Okay. At least they have it in their textbook. It doesn't mean people actually do it, but we definitely recommend it. Here is a really important one that you should all know. According to NASM and any of the other NCCA accredited organizations, they do not want you talking about nutrition and supplementation. This is one of the reasons why chapters 9 and chapter 10, you will see almost no questions on their exam from those two chapters. Nutrition, supplementation. You'll get this. Remember, This is NASM. They have to be very, very careful how they, uh, deal with trainers and what they should and should not do. You guys, however, are BDU students, which makes you different and special. Why? Because when you went through your BDU program and passed your BDU final, you now are able to actually do nutritional coaching. You got it? That's what Module 2 was about. You still have to maintain a specific code of conduct, but under NASM's guidelines, they want you to refer people out. That's how you answer the questions that you get. Is everybody with me? According to NASM, on the NASM exam, are you allowed to write a diet nutrition program for people? They don't recommend it. They're really, they wouldn't do that. They don't recommend it. Does that make sense? So remember, you did your BDU materials. That's your real world stuff. When you come into NASM, it's their exam. You need to pass their exam, and therefore you have to follow the guidelines of their textbook. This makes sense. Okay, so that's a really important one to keep in mind. Oh, here you go. Maintain a level of personal hygiene. Well, guys, can y'all see this? Appropriate for health. That's way too subjective. No. It's way too subjective. I've seen too many nasty people in gyms and health clubs. So I'm not going by health and fitness standards. What standards should you go by when it comes to personal hygiene? The highest level of standards. Highest. Guys, please trust me on this. I can tell you story after story of trainers years ago and even today who do not put priority on their personal hygiene. I'm not training with you. I'm not going to train with you. I can only handle lack of hygiene for so long. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So I'm kind of mixing a little bit here, but NASM says abide by basic standards of health and fitness hygiene. You'll get that. So there's your code of professionalism. Confidentiality, store and dispose of client records. Yes, you should do that anyway. Protect the client's confidentiality in conversations, advertisement. By the way, just so you know, when you're doing marketing and advertising, when you sign people up as your clients, now we already have that information for you in the BDU materials, but NASM gives you some paperwork you could use as well. You always have to ask permission for anybody that you're taking photos of that you are going to use in your marketing and advertising. You know that, right? If you didn't know that, you know it now. Do not be taking pictures of people and putting them up on your Facebook or no. They have to have signed an agreement with you that says, yes, you can use my likeness. That's the term that's used. My face, my likeness, meaning you can't take a picture of me and then like blur out certain parts or make funny little things with me because that's my likeness. You can't do that either unless I sign off on it. That makes sense? Okay. So any questions on any of that? Pretty straightforward, yes? So that's your confidentiality, legal and ethical. Do you guys need to go over this? Obey all local state. How many of y'all obey the laws, right? Local. Okay, I'm just saying it's in there, right? Regulations, professional rules, accept complete response. Wow, geez. Maintain accurate and truthful records. Yes, absolutely. One of the reasons, by the way, it's not just the legal and ethical part, but if you don't have proper paperwork and you're not maintaining accurate records and you have an accident or somebody gets hurt, your liability insurance company, they want to see all of your records. Y'all get that? If they don't see, if you're not able to get them records of the client, guess what they will not do for you if you don't have those records? They're not going to cover you. You get it? So you've got to keep accurate records on all of your clients. You got to have them fill out all the pertinent paperwork at the very beginning and any other paperwork if things change. I hope that makes sense. And NASM's just giving you this is standard. This is standard. It's not legal. And by the way, you probably would want to get somebody legal wise to help you if you're writing out contracts. Now, look at this. NASM may revoke or otherwise take action with regard to the certification of an individual who has been convicted plea to nolo contendere through a legal process negligence. You know what NASM is saying? If you're a NASM, if you took our CPT exam and you passed it and you're a NASM certified trainer and you do something illegal or whatever the case is, particularly in that capacity, guess what we're going to do? We're going to cut you off and you are no longer a NASM certified trainer because they don't want to get a bad name from you. Okay? Does that make sense? So don't just walk all over this stuff. Actually look at it and read it because it's important. They can essentially disown you as a trainer. Okay, business practice, maintain adequate. Okay, guys, you know this from the BDU materials, right? Maintain liability insurance. You don't touch anybody, not even your family. Don't touch anybody until you get liability insurance, $250 a year, right? Progress notes, well, nah, it depends. I'm not going to go into that with you, but they want you to think about this idea of progress notes, meaning you're keeping tabs on their reps and their sets and their weights, things like that. Okay? Any questions on any of this? Got it? Okay. They do give some questions. Okay, chapter summary. We did this, remember? We do this at the beginning of our study, of our chapter study. Okay? Got it? So let's go ahead and take a look at chapter 2. What do we do first when we get to the begin? When we get to another chapter, what do we do first? Go ahead, Mark.
Go to the summary, go to the back.
You go to the back of the chapter first.
Yes.
So I got to chapter 2, and now I'm going to go to the back of the chapter. Mm-hmm. I'm going to read the summary, read the review, and then do what? I'm going to look at the chapter highlights. And what am I going to try and do with the chapter highlights?
Reduce minimum.
Irreducible minimum.
Irreducible minimum.
It's just a term, guys. Irreducible minimum. Each one of the bullet points that you get, you try to do the irreducible minimum. For some of you, if you've never done that before, it might take one run through, two or even 3 run throughs, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we are going to do now. So if you have your textbook, go to the back of chapter 2. Okay, let me get back there myself. Hang on, guys. See, I got to click into this. Okay, hang on. Not sure how many lessons they have in this one. Let's do this. Chapter 7 summary. Okay, so you're going to read through your summary, your review. You don't have to really take notes on them. That's just kind of like I would use the concept mental warm up. Then we come to the chapter highlights. Okay, so guys, let's go ahead and work some of these together. Everybody sees this sentence. From working in a large health club to training clients in their own homes, fitness professionals have numerous options to establish a personal training practice with a consistent flow of clients. By the way, that one in and of itself is pretty intuitive. Wouldn't you agree?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure you have to spend a whole lot of time memorizing that. I think you could get rid of this entire part right here and then start here. Fit professionals. Now watch, guys, this is what I do. If you want to take a note of this, you can do it. These are the words I would keep in here to help me remember this one bullet point. Fitness professionals, establish, training practice, probably just clients. Those are the only words I need. Fitness professionals, options to establish training or training practice clients. Something like that. If I put all those words together, maybe make a comma or slash mark, that gives me everything I know. That's what you need to try to do, guys. Okay? Is everybody with me on this? Let's look at the third one. As technology is evolving, there are many options for offering training services online. Okay, who wants to try this one? Mark, you want to try that one?
Which one is that?
That's the third one. It says, as technology is evolving, there are many options for offering training services online.
There are many options. There are many options of training services online.
Okay, you got rid of a couple of words there. Who else
Too
wants to
many?
try it?
Okay.
Well, I would say you still have too many, but that's
Okay.
just me.
Okay.
So who wants to try it? Russ? Matt? Mitzi? Helen? Who wants to try it? Just Mitzi, what would you do? What would you do?
How would you say, as technology develops, there's more options to train? I don't know.
Okay, watch this. Watch how I do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 13 words, right? It's too many words. I can't memorize 13 words. I can't memorize that concept. Watch what I do. See how it says, as technology is evolving?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Do you even need that in there from a memorization perspective? No. Who cares even if it's not evolving, there are many options, right? So the first thing I do is I get rid of that because that's not helping me. What is the basic concept of the sentence? Helen, go ahead.
Many options
For what?
for online training.
Does that make sense to everybody? What is the sort of the main idea of the sentence?
Online training.
Training
Offering
services
many
online,
options,
right?
services.
Or online training.
For offering services online.
Many options, services online. Now I got four words. Are you with me on this? I'm not saying this is like a really important component. Your goal in doing this is developing and establishing sort of the methodology. Because remember, this is chapter 2. It's not an important chapter, just so you know, right? It's a low priority chapter. But your studying needs to be methodical and consistent. And all you're doing is you're practicing to take a sentence, right, and squeeze it down, get rid of words you don't need. Initially, it might not seem like you're going to maintain the integrity of the concept, but you will, trust me. Think about it. I got you out off that screen. What was the third one we just looked at? What was the main concept?
Training services online.
Many options, right?
Yeah.
Many options. Yeah.
Do y'all understand? You didn't even have to look at it. You looked at it once. We cut it down to a couple of words, and you remembered it. These are tricks of the trade, so to speak. The fewer the words, the easier to remember. And keep in mind, we're not trying to remember everything. We are trying to remember enough, be familiar enough with the material so that when you see a question on a test, you can go, oh, that's right. Yeah, I think that's, y'all with me on this? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I harp on this a lot because it's really, really helpful in the memorization process. Does that make sense? So we're coming to the end of our time. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. We'll do a short one. How about this one? The 4 P's of marketing include product, price, promotion, and place. That's an easy one. That was too easy. You don't need the 4 P's of marketing. It's just the 4 words: product, price, promotion, and place. That's easy, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
How about this one? Forecasting techniques should be used to predict how many clients will need to be serviced to support a desired annual financial goal. Okay, give me the words that make this intelligible.
Forecasting techniques.
And I would agree with you, except I don't even need techniques.
How many clients you need for support for what?
How many clients? So forecasting,
Desired for a desired annual financial goal.
and I wouldn't even put desired. I would just put annual financial goal. Why? Because again, okay, I got experience with it, but what I will tell you is that anytime you're using adjectives, adverbs, things like that, you can get rid of those because believe it or not, you will automatically, when you read something or when you hear something, you will put it in place for yourself. If I say annual financial goal, you almost have to put some word, desired, want. Right? Does that make sense? You don't need to
put it there. Yeah.
Now, Helen, if you put that in there, that's fine. That's your first run through. When you do this, when you do, this idea of the, of the minimum number of words needed, sometimes you'll go through the first round, you'll get rid of a bunch of words, and then you can look at them again. After you've written them down, you go back and look at them and go, you know what, I don't even need these words. And then you're down to 2 or 3 words. That makes sense to everybody?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
So, where is everybody at? But Helen, where are you at? What chapter are you on?
In module 2, 3.
In the NASM? Or are you in the BDU?
I'm in the BDU.
You're in the BDU. That's why. See, this is the NASM. So just like when I was talking to who was a
Betty.
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 You want to be on the 1 o'clock. The 1 o'clock, not the 2 o'clock. But you see, now you learned a little bit about the NASM.
I sure did.
So I want you next week on the 1 o'clock BDU.
And I tried to get on that one, and I think I put
thought-
Eastern Standard Time and Central Light.
Oh,
So I missed
gotcha.
I missed
Gotcha. I want you to sign up for the next one next week,
it. Okay.
but do the BDU one.
Okay.
Okay. But it was good having you in here anyway. Mark,
Bye.
Mark, where you at in the course? How you doing?
I'm on chapter 2, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Took me about 3 days to take my notes and write down my charts in chapter 1. Okay. So I'm kind of
and
tracking.
Now you're done. And now you're done. You're going to get to moderate priority chapters in chapter 3. Good. Russell, how about you? What chapter are you on?
Well, I've actually had experience with NASM before. I just never went for my test. So I kind of read through the whole text before. So I'm just getting my extra notes.
Reviewing back again. Okay,
absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. Good idea. Matt, how about you, sir? Where are you at?
Chapter 7.
Okay. Okay, chapter 7. Remember, once you get to chapter 8, low priority. Don't let them fool you. Okay, guys, remember, it's a lot of great information, but they're not going to ask a lot on the test. Y'all get it? Keep that in mind. Efficiency, be practical about this. If it's a low priority chapter, okay, go through a little bit of it, but don't spend a lot of time. People get caught on chapter 8 all the time. They do. Because it's all right. It's got a lot of good material in it. I think is that the bioenergetics chapter? You're like, whoa, bioenergetics. It's like, yeah, they're going to ask you maybe 5 questions max. Okay. Yeah, not a lot of questions. Mitzi, you're at the end, right? Are you near the end of the course, the NASM?
No, I'm in chapter 14 actually.
Oh, gotcha.
Chapter
Okay.
14. Yeah.
Really important chapter.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have any specific questions before I let you go?
All set.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Making my
good.
way through.
Okay, good. Yeah, remember, guys, reach out in the comment boxes if you have any questions specific. But please come back next week, even if it's just to go through some of these sort of methodological study techniques that we're doing. Okay?
For sure. Thank
Sound
you.
good? All right,
Yeah.
guys. It was great seeing everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll talk
All
later.
right. Bless.
See you.
Thanks.
Bye.